successful brand has a story.
This is how FeliGlow Beauty Spa was born.
My name is Prophetess Tino Primrose Miga, and I am a CEO at FeliGlow, a business partner to Felistas, aka my TT. What can I say about FeliGlow? Basically, FeliGlow is a dream come true, I believe, for both of us. When I met Felistas, and I know a lot of people love to call her my TT, it was, I think she was preparing for an album launch. I just traveled back from Dubai, and there was a good friend of mine who had told me so much about her, and she spoke so highly about her. And when I met her, I believe it was a David and Jonathan relationship, where the Bible says, and David loved Jonathan. And I believe God just placed her in my heart somehow. We went through the motions where she was preparing for an album launch, and I tried my best to support in whichever way that I could. And I was super excited because I wanted to see what she was going to produce. And, when it comes to my TT, everybody is waiting to see what's next. I mean, after what she had gone through, prison and all that. So everybody wanted to see. So I was quite excited because I knew that it was a gospel album that was coming up. So as a woman of God, I said, no, let me see how I can fit in to be able to support, because I believe it's important for women to support each other in everything. And after the launch, the launch was a success. It was very beautiful. So we got to talking, we got closer, and we started talking about dreams and aspirations. And then she told me about the vision that she had about opening a spa. And in that moment, I believed that God was in this, God was in that relationship, because it was something also that I had a dream about. I'd already started buying a few things, but things didn't work out. I'd looked for people to work with. As a woman of God, most of the time, our time is mostly in ministry. So you don't get so much time to, really do business. So if you're going to get into business, you really need somebody who knows what they're doing, somebody who's trustworthy, somebody that you can really count on. So I was super excited, and I told her, look, I was also wanting to do this, and why don't we just try? So we spoke about it. It was almost like a joke. And I remember that night we had a long conversation over the phone talking about a spa and what we were thinking, our dreams, our thoughts, and all that. And I believe a lot of people would probably see us together once in a while. They would see us, I would go to her shows, I would go to support wherever she would be. So people would probably see, and I know people didn't know what was going on in the background, but we were working on something. And it was super exciting because she was quite persistent. And she would move me, she would say, Mama, right now, this needs to be done. Have we found a place? Do we have this? Do we have that? To be honest with you, she had such a drive, that I was forced to just say, okay, even on the days where my mind would just be thinking about church, when you're used to church so much. So she really did push, and we finally got to where we got to. She really ran around, we brought in, we were just complimenting each other. And like I said, I believe it was God, because everything just fit in perfectly. So it's like someone coming with a flower, and then you've got the vase, and then you put it together. Or, somebody comes with light, or, it just came together. And I believe it was all God, and I know it is God. So it's been a journey. It's been a tough one. People probably don't know the ups and downs of it. And I remember 2 days before the launch, She called me, she wanted to see me, I was busy with something. But when I spoke to her, I felt it, I felt no, she needs me now. So I went to the shop and she was surprised because she wasn't expecting me to come. I told her I was here in the morning. And I got there, she said, Mama, I said, what's wrong? She said, I just need a hug, I'm overwhelmed. And this thing is, and I said, you know what? We are almost there, we are about to get there. We're just left with just 2 days. And it's going to be, it's going to be done. And by the grace of God, we got to where we are. We managed to finally open the spa, and people really supported. Obviously, there are people who always hate. In business and in everything that you do, it's not everybody who's going to like you. It's not everybody who's going to support. There are people who are going to speak negatively. There are people who are going to try to bring you down. But at the end of the day, it's about knowing who you are. I always believe that understanding who you've been called to be is what drives us, is what pushes us. And I often tell people I'm too convinced to be confused about who I am. So there's nothing that should, bring you down in whichever journey that you decide to take in life. And, it's always important to have the right alignments, have the right people, have the right friendships. I always believe when the time is right, God aligns people for you. God brings the right people. Sometimes it didn't work out. It didn't work out for me with other people because they were people that I wanted to work with, but it didn't work out. Not because of anything, but because they were just not meant to be the people that I was supposed to work with. They were not meant to be in my destiny, in the lane that God has put me in. So it's not that I'm imperfect or that they were imperfect, but it is that during that time or during that season, they were not the right people to complement me. So I'm super excited about this journey for FeliGlow. I know where God is taking us, and I trust that bigger and better things are going to come. And I know there's going to be FeliGlow all over the world. They are going to speak about FeliGlow beauty spas, and best believe it, people should know that we are coming, and we are coming strong. So I'm inviting you guys to come to our spa, get to see what we do. And I believe this is a space that is going to be a safe space for women, so that they can just come distress, so that they can just come relax, sip on juice and just talk and share different parts about our lives. And also for the men, we are preparing something great. We've got something great in store for the men, because we know that men, they are not really coming for the Moroccan baths. They want massages and all that. So we are also preparing a very nice room that will be for men, where they can actually really just come and chill out and, relax. So this is me, Prophetess Tino, calling you out from FeliGlow. Thank you.